when you're hearing all that nonsense and about how they've studied and everything else. Apparently they didn't study where this bill come from, because it come from the 9/11 Commission.
You can be investigated for anything. We're not just talking about terrorism, anything.
The current legislative session winds down in 2 weeks, but there are still many topics to tackle, including that fiery debate that happened this morning. I'm Shay Razi.
And I'm Sarah Whaley. So glad you're with us tonight. Supporters of an anti-terrorism bill say they are trying to improve communication between state agencies.
Opponents, including people from both parties, called it a secret power grab that gives the governor new law enforcement powers.
New at 5, Fox 23's Rick Marinon is live with a look at why some believe the bill came too close for comfort from being signed into law. Rick?
And keep in mind, we are just about 2 weeks out from the end of session. This bill went through the House, didn't have any debate or opposition there, went to the state Senate, was amended slightly, didn't have any debate or opposition there. But when it came back to the House, that's when this fiery debate happened and the bill died before it could go to Stitt's desk. For some, it was a bill about terrorism and preventing mass shootings. For others, it was a power grab by allies of the governor to give him and future governors the power to use law enforcement to investigate political opponents.
We want to be ready to attack on a school shooting, to respond to a school shooting. We want to be able to respond to a bombing or shooting here at the Capitol. But wouldn't it be better to prevent?
Supporters of House Bill 1976 say the Department of Public Safety needs the ability to coordinate and communicate with other local, state, and federal agencies to gather intelligence and data on potential terrorists and criminals. They even point to recommendations by the 9/11 Commission after the September 11, 2001 attacks.
Everywhere you go, Mr. Speaker, we hear, oh, this could have been prevented. That should have been prevented. They blame the police because they didn't act when they had all of this information. Well, guess what, Mr. Speaker? That's because the information was not shared.
But giving law enforcement more power to monitor terrorists isn't the sticking point. It's how 1976 is written and could be carried out against political opponents of the governor is the rub.
Everyone is against terror. Everyone wants to keep our citizens safe. Everyone. But let's read further.
The governor appoints the head of the Department of Public Safety. The concern is a governor, including the current one, could force a DPS commissioner to launch an investigation into anyone for any reason under HB 1976. And if he or she does not comply, they could easily be replaced by someone who will carry out the governor's orders, no questions asked.
And that one person, Mr. Speaker, is under the complete control of the governor. And this governor has shown that he will fire anyone and replace them if they won't do his bidding.
Supporters say the highway patrol needs to be more than traffic cops, but in the end, it failed 63-30. The author of that bill, State Representative Humphrey, who you heard from in that story, says he is reserving the right to have a revote later this session. There is a procedural maneuver where a lawmaker can start to rally support behind closed doors and talk about the bill. And if they're confident they have enough votes, they can ask for a revote. Live covering news that matters, I'm Rick Marin on Fox 23 News.